Hi, I'm Deb Black, and I'm a learning support teacher. And I work with my lesson is for grade 5 English Language Arts. I'm using Screencast-O-Matic. I co-teach with 5th grade, so my co-teacher and I share the responsibilities of teaching and monitoring students during lessons. Our district is implementing hybrid lessons, and the hybrid lesson format would be where there would be one station for direct instruction, one station for collaborative activities, and one station for independent activities. Each station the students stay at for 20 minutes, and all students rotate at the same time. So this would be a 1 hour um, total lesson plan format in all. The learning management that I would use would be using Google Classroom, and I would place the assignments for the students at the different stations in the Google Classroom set up for them. The students have Chromebooks. There are enough for all students, but for the collaborative activities, they will be sharing. My goal is that students will identify various types of figurative language and text, and they will describe or match the true meanings with a minimum of 85% proficiency on the final exam, with the driving question being, what is figurative language and how and why do authors use it? When the students arrive in the morning, they will actually get onto this Google form and take a pre-assessment on figurative language. In this way, as we see the results, one of us will be able to group the students according to whether some groups of students really don't need to go over some parts of figurative language and some do. And maybe some students are ready to work on something further in figurative language and just have a quick review of it. This is my Google Doc responses as the students fill in their responses, whether they be multiple choice or open-ended, or just write in a few words for their answers. The responses will come in, and this will show one of us how to group the students. During direct instruction, this slide share will be used. It's called Poetic Device. It's a technique behind the words. And in it, it reviews the different figurative language and literal language, and also the different types of figurative language. So if one of the groups of students don't really need to go over similes or metaphors, but they really need to go over hyperboles or personification, the teacher can just focus on those areas. And then after that, there are questions using the different types of figurative language that students can use as a review. And the teacher can pick and choose from the 15 review questions which ones to focus on. The student's exit ticket for direct instruction will start about 5 minutes before the end of the 20 minutes, and the students will choose one of these boxes to fill in, which is in a Google Doc, and they can either write the definition, give an example, or explain why the example that was given is a good example, or maybe they have a question about one of the types of figurative language, or maybe they're just wondering something about figurative language that they want to ask a question about, and we can clear that up on the following day. Students can see what the other students are writing, and then if there's any time before the 20 minutes is up, we can start going over some of it. This will also let the teacher know where she needs to go for the next lesson. At the collaborative station, students will work with partners, and the partners will only have one laptop to share so they can engage in some good conversations. There will be a poster similar to this one up in that center so they have it as a reference. And through Google Classroom, their instructions will be to turn to the site at Storybird. And at Storybird, they will be writing pages to a book on figurative language. This is my model page that the students can look at so that they know what to do for their page. The directions will also be written with the Google Classroom assignment. The students are to choose one of the illustrations or photographs, and then they are to write a sentence about it using figurative language. They're also to write what type of figurative language they used and then explain the sentence using that figurative language. If the students do not get finished during this lesson, they will have the next day's lesson to work on it also. At the Independence Station, there will be several books laying around, and that's because a little bit later, after they watch a video by Learn Zillion on figurative language, then they will be asked to, according by their Google Classroom assignment, to choose a type of figurative language, a sentence using it from a book, and then they're going to add it to an assignment. So this is the Learn. So then students will choose some format to be creative. They could use Powtoon, they could use Coloris, they could use Microsoft Word Paint. And here's my example. Please pardon my artwork on Google Paint. That's not my specialty. I mean on Microsoft Word Paint. It's not really my specialty. But they'll copy a sentence from or type in a sentence from a book. And then they have to illustrate it literally and figuratively. So that's an explanation of all the assignments at all of the stations for the hybrid lessons. So altogether that would be about 1 hour long. And I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, there are enough Chromebooks for every student to use at the grade level. Thank you for listening. Bye.